Hello, I hope you are having a fantastic day and welcome to my porch. Today we're going to talk about 2 ways to focus more on your business instead of being in your business. And the first thing we're going to talk about is for several of you, you may be hitting the ceiling and your team and you are working really, really hard and you're going and you're going and you're going. You're just not making the progress that you want to make. I'm going to talk about 5 leadership skills that will help you break that ceiling and be able to grow your business where you want to take it to the next level. And the second thing we're going to talk about in order to get more focused on your business is to look at your accountability chart and how can you get the right people in the right seats. So hang on, here we go. Now, most people would think the first step is to plan. However, the first step is to get focused. And there's actually 5 main areas to be able to get focused. We're going to touch on 2 of them today. I know this is going to date me a little bit, as Paul Harvey would say, and the rest of the story will be next week. So make sure you subscribe and like my channel. Be able to set the timer, and you'll get a great bell when I upload something else, and you'll be able to hear the rest of the story next week. So let's dive in to the 2 that I wanted to focus on today. And the first one is 5 leadership skills that you can implement with you and your team to be able to break through that ceiling and to be able to grow your business. And the first one is to focus on simplifying. And you've heard the saying, and I know you've heard keep it simple, stupid, but we're going to say keep it simple, silly. And to really think about how can you simplify, because a lot of times we overcomplicate things, and this may be making some really big decisions about your business. Maybe you simplify the products you offer. Maybe you need to simplify your business model. Maybe you need to simplify the processes and the procedures that we're going to talk about. So really look at, grab a piece of paper, a tablet, and write down, what are some things that you need to simplify with your business. The second one we're going to talk about is delegate. And you have to delegate to elevate. And there's a special way to delegate. It's not about just dumping junk that you don't want to do. It's about really looking at who is on your team and who would be able to do it better and faster. And a lot of times what one person doesn't like to do, another person loves to do. So how can you delegate with purpose? And really think about what you're delegating and who you are delegating it to. So take a moment again on your tablet and write down a couple things that you feel really needs to be delegated. Number 3, the next skill that your leadership team really needs to master is how to predict. And it is as small as being able to predict what needs to happen today and this week in order to have the big things happen. What predictions need to be made for the quarter? What predictions need to be made for the year? What predictions need to be made for 3 years, and what predictions need to be made? I know this is scary for some people, but what predictions need to be made for 10 years down the road? Take your tablet again and jot down some predictions. Fourth skill is to be able to systemize your business. And the reason why franchises are hot sellers out there is because they have created that system. So one of the things that is a true must is you just have to be able to put processes and procedures in place. And again, it's not going to be anything overcomplicated. You need to keep it still simple. However, you've got to document it, you've got to write it down, and you have to train those processes and systems so everybody is doing the same thing. It is just like if you go to a McDonald's across the country. If you order French fries, they taste the same, and that's because they have the same system for preparing and cooking them. So you want to be able to incorporate these type of systems in your business. Tablet again, and I want you to think about some things that if you had to come up with your top 5 to 7 processes, what would they be? Do you need a system for hiring? Do you need a system for HR in general? Do you need a system for your widgets? Do you need a sales system? Do you need a marketing system? So don't get crazy with the systems, but think of 5 to 7 areas of your business that really need to get systemized. And the last leadership ability you need to incorporate with your team is structure. And you don't want to get lost in all the problems or the issues of today. You want to be able to stand back and take a 360-degree view and really think about what structure do you need to have in place to be able to hit the ceiling, to be able to take your company to the next level. And that means you can't dwell on people or issues right now. You have to be able to close your eyes and think about what structure do we need to have in place 6 to 12 to 18 months down the road, and then we'll be able to work through the people and the issues and today's problems to be able to get you there. But you have to create that structure. If you're always creating a structure for today, then you're never going to be able to break the ceiling. You've got to be thinking in the future. So I want you to take your notepad, and I want you to think about, just brainstorm for a few minutes about structure and what structure do you need to have in your business. One way to structure your business is to use something called an accountability chart. And this is totally different than a traditional organizational chart that's built on titles. An accountability chart is focused on who is accountable for a certain task. With that in mind, if you take out your piece of paper or your notepad and write down a series of boxes, and the top box is going to be called visionary. And a lot of times this is the owner of the company. The visionary is really one that could be set on major relationships for the business. They could be focused on the vision and where the company is going and keeping up to date with current trends. The second box is called an integrator. And the integrator is merely there, and a lot of times the integrator position doesn't even have to be a full-time position. The integrator is really looking at how to integrate all of the main functions of the company. So that gets you to the third level. The third level will have 3 to 7 boxes. Make sure that you're not having it any deeper than 7. And I almost think 7 wide is too wide. So I'd really try to focus it on 3 to 5 main focus areas of your company. The 3 major ones would be sales and marketing, which may be in its own box, operations, and finance. You could have a separate IT box. You could have a separate HR box. You could have a separate facilities box if you have a larger facility. So when there's an issue with operations, the operation person is taking that issue and they're running with it and they're solving it. And if they need help, they ask. But it really starts helping each person be accountable. So once you map out the structure and what you need, and again, keep in mind the structure, don't get lost in today's issues. Really think about where do you need to be 12, 18 months down the road. You can have an accountability chart for phase 1, an accountability chart for phase 2, accountability chart for phase 3. So it really gets you to start looking at, tasks are going to need to be done in order to move you to the next level. Let's talk about the right people in the right seats. The right people mean that they live and breathe your core values. And the right seat means that they're in their sweet spot and they're doing exactly what they were meant to do. And when you start creating a structure and you think about what your company needs, you may find that one of your employees may be in a couple of the seats. Remember to focus on your growth, and you want to create an accountability chart that's focused on where you're going, not where you're at. Joining me today, I hope you gain some more clarity and focus and structure, and most importantly, motivation to be able to break through the ceiling and to be able to take your business to the next level. Again, remember, Paul Harvey and the rest of the story is next week when we talk about 3 more ways in order to gain more focus for your business and to be able to take you and your company to the next level.